this order is different, but I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
I'm glad the pastor pointed it out. I was able to say peace. The thing is, they have the right one on the thing. So we're all going to change.
The last one must be love.
Yeah, it's the last one's love. That's right. Yeah, I don't know why it's a different order for this. Well, we'll remind each other to correct it.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah,
Who's gonna keep us straight in Mexico? Well,
All right. Thank you very much, Sylvia. All right. I understand. Welcome. We will officially start our December 7th, 2025 Congregational Meeting agenda. Welcome. We have 54 active members on our roll. I have 23 people on the signature list as attending, so we do have a quorum. So thank you for that. Good start. Would you like to start us off with a prayer?
Let us pray. Holy One, we thank you for the life of our church, the life of our people, and we thank you for this congregational meeting. Be with us, lead us. May everyone feel that they can speak, that they have voice in our midst. We're trusting in you, O God, to lead the way. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
So I'm going to, we have an agenda. I'm going to try to stick to the agenda pretty closely. I may add a few things here or there. I'll try to get through this fairly quickly. Please, if you have a question anytime, raise your hand. Again, my biggest thing is that we're very transparent here, that we all are on the same page. All right, so, okay, yes, forgot to include this. Although Amy sent out a copy of the minutes from our May congregational meeting, okay, I'm sure all of you read those, okay? So we need to approve those minutes, so if anybody did actually read them, would they make a motion? Thank you, Michael Ann. Michael Ann has made a motion. I have a second there. All in favor of accepting the May congregational meetings, raise your hand. A majority have raised their hand. The minutes are approved. Oh, second was Mary Lowell. No, actually Mary Lowell. Sorry, yes. Mary Lowell seconded. All right. And then at least 90% approved. All right. One of the things you'll be learning in a few minutes is that Kathy is stepping down as our treasurer, and begrudgingly, my wife Amby has volunteered, voluntasked something. Anyway, so she's going to give our proposed budget for this coming.
Okay, well, Kathy is also out of town, or she would probably be doing this. You could put, first, you just put the first slide up. So here's the little agenda for the financial section. We're going to talk a little bit about our gratitudes and appreciations, our challenges, and then where we kind of are today. So next slide. Under our gratitude and appreciations, we want to kind of acknowledge some of the things that people have done this year. First and foremost, I don't know if many of you know that Patrick Felix did defer a portion of his salary for 6 months this year to help us financially. I want to point out that that is a deferral, so that means that eventually he will be paid back for this gracious gift that he's given us. Also, we want to point out that through this year we've had many members step up and help pay for things directly in excess of, I'm sure 10,000 is low for what people have paid directly for things that we've had, whether it's repairs that have come up out of the blue and some renovations that have been done. So In addition to that, I'd like to point out that not just directly paid, there's plenty of intangible things that people do every day and week to help our congregation look good and the building look good inside and out. So all of those should be acknowledged and appreciated as well. The average donation transaction has increased by 8%, so that's really good news. Now, to move on to the challenges we faced this year. So at the end of 2024, we did have a budget deficit of over $13,000. We had some CDs back then that, have been cashed out. We did lose some room rental income this year when we had a previous person who rented from us moved out. The average monthly general offering has decreased by 10%, which is less money coming in. Insurance, as probably even at home you guys experience this, everybody's property insurance has gone up, ours as well, by 16%, which is a pretty big hit. And only 33% of our documented constant contact households are donating, so it'd be nice if we could get that increased. And then our unique donors have dropped 17%. So basically, our operating expenses do exceed our monthly incomes, and our supplemental funds, meaning savings and obviously CDs, are not sufficient to cover all of our debts. Our current savings account really sits at like $14,000. So moving on to the budget, actuals and budget. I think this was in Thursday Thoughts. I don't know if anybody looked at it. We do sort of have it at the high level. I'm happy to provide any details if somebody wants to look at the numbers in much more detail or know what's in some of those categories. You can ask me now or you can see me later, and I'm happy to go over it in more detail. But one thing I think is good is the 2025 is still not 100% because we're obviously still in December, but it is, when you look at our expenses year over year from 24 to 25, you can see they're really flat. That's saying a lot for us trying to really keep things in control and as good as we can. But with less coming in, it still causes a greater deficit at the end of the year, even with some of the changes we've made. And moving on to 2026, our income number for that is what we have only been able to anticipate based on what people have turned in. We're obviously hoping there's more people that are giving that just aren't telling us that they're giving or will have other donations throughout the year. But that leads obviously to a much bigger deficit without knowing that actual, hopefully more increased income. Expenses go up, mostly related to the insurance is a big part of that. There's some, salaries that will change throughout next year, which will cause an increase to our expenses. So, I don't know, we're doing everything we can to try to keep things going, but it's getting tougher every year. So, any questions? We don't have to actually vote on this, right? Oh, we do have to? We do have to vote on it? I guess we need a motion to approve the 2026 estimate or budget for 2026. I need a second. Amy, Sandy, okay. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Again, if you have any questions, you can ask me later. Like I said, I have all the details if anybody wants to look at the numbers.
Thank you, Mrs. Hoffman.
Welcome, Mr. Hoffman.
One of the things that she pointed out was a bump in salary for next year. And one of the things that we anticipate is that we will have to pay out more for an office manager because our beloved office manager will be abandoning us. So to talk about that,
I'm not abandoning you. Right now, my projected day for leaving is in July, so that gives us about 7 months into the new year. My hope is to organize things so that the transition to a new office manager will be nice and smooth, and I also will train them as much as needed. That includes if some things are needed after I leave the position. So July is my expected date of exiting my office manager position.
thank you, Amy.
I said it's good news.
It is good news. It is wonderful news.
It's good and bad. And scary.
All right, moving forward. We are about to present the slate of council for 2026, but before that, we need to we need to get permission to suspend the bylaws again. The bylaws state that no two officers shall be from the same immediate family. Now, I will tell you right now, Amby is going to vote against this. But the rest of you can override her. So, to allow Amby to be treasurer and me to be moderator, I need a motion to suspend that part of the bylaws. Mary Davis? TJ seconds. All in favor, please raise your hand. Very good. All opposed, please raise your hand. Oh, unanimous. Excellent. All right, so Amby can be treasurer. All right, and so this is the slate, and as you know, it's an all or nothing thing. So for 2026, your proposed council will be me as moderator. Scott will remain as our associate moderator. Amby will be treasurer. CJ is going to step in and be our secretary. And then our at-large members will be Andrew, Pam, Peggy, Sylvia, Amy, Michael Ann, and Kathy. Jan has decided to step back. And as I said before, Kathy has decided to step back from treasurer but will remain on council. You have some input?
I just want to say that my position will be limited until I leave the office in July due to, obviously, school. But I'm willing to be an at-large member.
Right. As a council member and an employee, we have to make sure that she does not vote on anything where it may be a conflict of interest, but we've discussed that. So, all right. I need a motion to approve this slate. Mary Lowell. Do I have a second? Michael Ann. All in favor of approving this slate, please raise your hand. All right. All opposed, please raise your hand. All right. This is your council for next year. Yay! All right. A relatively quick update on sale of the property. If you read my moderator's moment from a couple weeks ago, we do have a valid offer of $2 million from AME. I don't know the exact AME. It's an AME church, African Methodist Episcopalian Church. So they do somewhat align with our own values, okay? So that is on the table. We countered because some of the specifics were not quite what we were looking for. They had a very low earnest money amount So our agent recommended that we come back on that. They also had an extremely long feasibility period, which gives them a lot of latitude on backing out. So we cut that down to 60 days. And also, we wanted something specifically saying, not necessarily saying we will absolutely rent back to you, but saying that we are open to discussing that as an option, okay? That was not in their proposal, so we asked for that. We had hoped that we would hear back from them by this meeting. We have not. So at this point, the plan is to possibly bring this to a congregational vote in January. But as of right now, there's nothing 100% set. So that's where we are. All right. Yes.
So if they come back and say that they are not receptive to allowing us to stay here for a period of time,
Right.
is that a deal breaker?
No, I do not believe that's a deal breaker, okay? So everything, really everything is negotiable.
Okay.
But it might be a deal breaker because, okay, so whatever, pretty much in my mind, whatever they come back with is going to be the offer that we're going to present to y'all, right? And so since I've got to give a 2/3 majority vote for, well, then maybe some people say, you know, if they're not willing to work with us, I'm not going to approve the sale. So, no, it's not a deal breaker in my mind, but it might be in some. Did that answer your question?
Yep.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on to what I've been calling the Hail Mary proposal for Plymouth. Okay, so understand, the council, most people I've talked to, we all recognize that this physical location is still our best hope and bet for growing, right? We recognize that. And so we continue to look at options right up to the last minute. And so the other day, Felix called me, and I will be honest, when he first called me, I said, "You have lost your mind." But I prayed about it. I thought about it. I lost a lot of sleep that night actually thinking about it. And I said, okay, you know what? Let's run it up the flagpole. So what we're proposing, and again, everybody familiar with the term Hail Mary pass in football? You know, it's an all or nothing, one shot, you either win or you lose, right? So again, you can probably just click all the buttons now. I'm just going to talk through it. We are asking for individuals to loan us money. Now, that can be congregants, but it can be outside, all right? You've got a brother-in-law who's got some extra money and he wouldn't mind doing this. We're open. We're open to maybe talk to the Boy Scouts. Maybe some people over there would be willing, okay? But again, this is a loan. It's not a donation, it's a loan. And so the terms of the loan, and I broke this down in the smallest amounts that I think we could deal with, is that it'd be for 4 years. And for every $5,000 loaned to Plymouth, you would be paid back $6,000. $25,000, you'd get $30,000 back. So it's an investment. It's not a great investment, but it's a pretty solid investment because it is being guaranteed by our property. And that's why If we decide to proceed with this, 2/3 of y'all will have to vote to proceed, all right? Because we are guaranteeing it with our property.
And we would hire a lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
Just real quickly.
Well, I'm going to say it. I'm going to
You're
say
gonna
it.
say
Yeah,
it, yep.
yeah. So what he's saying is like 5,000 or so of the first money that we use will be to hire a lawyer and write a very strong contract. Okay? So, next slide. So, how much are we trying to raise? We need at least 200,000, at least. And I would hope for more. Go ahead. Right off the bat, we would use a large portion of it to bring this facility fully up to code, fully up to what we need it to be, which would significantly lower our insurance cost. All right, there's 4 or 5 things that we could do that would lower our insurance cost, but it would also make it more appealing if we decide to, or if somebody wants to come in and rent the room, or if somebody wants to use this as a wedding venue. It would be more attractive because we'd have fixed the, well, both structural and cosmetic issues. How much would we have to spend? That's up to debate, okay? So Felix and Brother Alan are going to talk at the end, after I'm done, kind of about the vision, and they have some ideas on that. That's why I'm saying we need at least 200,000, because I figure we're going to spend at least 100,000 on this property, okay? And then the additional money we could designate to the programs and the outreaches that we are developing, that we are looking forward to. You know, our reimagining program, y'all remember that campaign. Well, we are in the middle of the writing, the plan process, and that is going really well, guys. We have been meeting, and we've been butting some heads, but we really are coming together, and we're coming up with some really solid goals that we can implement in the very near future. We'll actually be starting our first one in January, all right? So we've got a plan, but again, it's a Hail Mary, because I don't know. I don't know how many of y'all are capable. I mean, Amby and I have decided we will designate a good chunk of money, probably 50,000. I know she really didn't want me to say a specific amount. But we know that that's actually going to hurt us, because we're going to have to pay taxes on that, because we're going to be drawing it out of retirement, okay? So we're going to break even on over a 4-year period, basically. I have a question.
Excuse me. The other night at council, you were talking about the minimum being 25,000. Are you now saying that minimum could be 5,000?
Right. And that's why I changed that exactly. Thank you, Mary. Yes. I recognize that, yes, you're right. Another. Hold on. There you go. Perfect. Thank you, Mary.
Hello. I have a question. Surely this has been looked at, but how much equity is there in this current building and property?
So, not specifically, all right. We know that the property is worth right at $2 million, because that's what we have. And we have outstanding loans of about 300, okay? Closing costs, et cetera, et cetera. We would clear on the sale about 1.5 million. The problem is, and I looked at this as shortly after becoming moderator, nobody will loan us any money just based on our property. They have to see an income stream. Yeah, no regular conventional loaning institution will touch us.
So I understand, I mean, I've been at Plymouth for a very long time, and I understand people's tie to this building, but I also think we have to look at how this building has become an albatross around our necks. You know, the church is not the building or the walls. The church is the people. And I personally don't think that us selling this space is necessarily going to harm us, because a church can grow without being in their original space. And there's so much that we can do with that money. I mean, can you imagine having $1.5 million that we can put into, you know, allyship, our Four Voices, service to the community, et cetera, and marketing. And that's only going to help us increase our reach. So I don't want everybody to be so, I just want you to think in terms of maybe having this building is not necessarily the best way for Plymouth to stay viable.
Thank you.
Okay, I think I disagree, but anyways, as individuals, each of us have the opportunity, if something changes with this church, to go find another church.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of them out there. Maybe not exactly the same, maybe not exactly the same people. And as well, each of us could talk with other people that are in the church and agree to go to a particular church and be together. So that's an option that's on the table for everyone. Having been through the Open Arms experience, which was a UCC church that broke off from Emmanuel Church and went to start a church by itself. The burden of trying to operate without a building is much higher than people imagine, because the audio equipment and all of that needs to be set up each time, which takes time, and it needs to be torn down each time, and it needs to be stored somewhere. Yeah,
and there needs to be, it needs to be a physical address that you can send things through and, you know, communicate with. It's very difficult. I'm very reluctant to lose the building myself. I've been through the same experience. It's hard to be in church.
One other thought, and then I'll be quiet, but sorry.
It's all right. No, that's
but
all right.
One other thought is that if individuals are loaning, such as yourself, is loaning the church basically your equity for a period of 4 years, and you would have lawyers do a contract, and the church has meanwhile been sold, and you have, let's say it's $1.5 or $1.3 million. Wouldn't the lawyers make some of that money come back to the people to pay off the loans? Because
Right,
it's
yeah,
an
no,
asset.
exactly, yes,
Yes,
yes.
you would
That
expect that.
is the essence of the contract, is to guarantee the people who loan the money get their money back.
So you wouldn't be just going out and all of a sudden throwing money every place.
Correct.
Because you have, in 4 years, you have to repay those.
Right, and again, that's sort of what I'm saying. This is a all or nothing. In 4 years, if we haven't turned a corner, Plymouth may be done.
All right,
Wait.
actually, I'm next.
Okay, okay.
So as someone who is here 5 to 6 days a week, I am the person that reports when things break. I am the person who reports when things aren't working right. I'm the person who reports when the heater's not working. In the last 6 months, every single day I've come into work, I have had to report that something is broken, something is not working properly, something is whatever.
She reports it to me.
Yes, to him. And I cannot tell you how disheartening that is, because I feel like a monster to him. Where our communication almost daily is, this is not working correctly. This building, as Amy said, is an abacus for us. It is draining our funds, all of it, every single piece of it, because it has not been kept up. And if you're going to throw money at this building, you need to fix everything.
Right.
No Band-Aids.
Right.
Everything gets fixed, and a facilities person is hired to keep the maintenance of the building up. Because if it's not, we're going to be right back here in 10, 15, 20 years. And I hope to be around that long, and I hope to be here. But I have to agree with Amy. Church is not a building. We can grow somewhere else. We can grow. Just based on Amy's sermon today, we can grow somewhere else. We will find a P.O. box to mail things to. We will probably need to find office space for an office manager and a pastor. We will adapt with using our finances responsibly, but staying in this building for me, is the worst decision we can make.
I just want to chime in and say that over the course of the last year, despite our challenges, I've had a lot of fun. But I want the congregation to know that if we have to sell, your council has exhausted every potential avenue we could scratch our heads for. You saw the numbers. They're not getting better. I feel like spiritually we're in a better place than we were last year, because there's a lot more hope. But financially, the trend is slightly down. So the question is, can we right the ship, or do we have to abandon the ship? And that's where the Holy Spirit's going to have to talk to y'all about that, okay? But I just want you to say that we've exhausted everything we could do to save this building. No one wants to leave this building. But I take your point. It's very, very expensive. And the numbers show that we don't have the money for the proper upkeep. And that's all I want to say.
Sorry, just real quick. I also wanted to say that in the current society that we are living in, there's no guarantee that our property will be worth $2 million in 4 years.
I just want to say one other thing. I, too, have been through a church startup. I was a founding member of Light of Christ United Methodist Church in Charlotte, and we operated how Barry was mentioning, where we had to take things down and put things up all the time. I'm not suggesting that that is what we would do. We have had an option offered to us by another church where we would have a room where we could set up our video, we could set up audio. We wouldn't have to take things down every time like you have to with a church startup. They were willing to offer that to us in the beginning with no charge for a period of time. We would also be able to have office space there too. So there are other options besides a community center or a school where you have to take things up and down. So I just think we need to be thinking about the broader piece of it. And having been moderator for the past 2 years, for 2023 and 24, I understand exactly what you're talking about as far as exhausting all our resources. I mean, I know these people, and I know, what it's like to be on council, and a lot of people here have been on council, and it is difficult. And, is it a Hail Mary, or is it a, we don't want to leave this building, so we're going to let the building drown us? I mean, I think that's where we're coming.
Hold on.
I'm not officially a member, so I shouldn't even be speaking. Well, we joined in 2019 19, but then we were gone about 5 years.
We
so-
count you.
Anyway,
You're on the 56.
but the experience with Open Arms, I was like, Amy, like, this is great. We don't have a building, we don't have expenses. Yeah, I know. I can't talk without my hands. Seriously. I got a little bit of Italian and it shows up. Anyway, I was really gung-ho. This is great. We can, our income can go to missions and all this. And at first it did seem like it was working kind of, but then you get to like, forget choir or anything musical. Where do you practice? Where do you have the accompaniment? And I'm not saying that that's the most important thing for a church, but there are a handful of people that if you don't have that, are going to leave, which was kind of what happened with us at Open Arms, because it was important. It's part of where we share our gifts. So I don't want to, be negative, but I just want to say the experience that we had, it was not as easy as what I thought it was going to be.
And I greatly appreciate both sides, because there is not an easy answer here. All right? There is not an easy, straight, unless somebody's just going to write us a check for $1 million, there is not an easy answer here. All right? And Scott said it. We're looking at what are our options if we have to move. All right? Can we stay here with a lease? Well, that's not going to be ideal. The Church of Christ, Cypress Creek, they've got a room for us. It's a classroom, okay? It's not ideal. Yeah, but but there's options, okay? There are options. But we also recognize that if we leave here, we're going to lose some people, okay? Can we grow? I think so, yes. From that perspective, Amy, I agree with you 100%. The church is not this building. The church are y'all. Okay? I agree with you 100%. But I also do feel like this space is special. And maybe that's my heart and it's not my mind. Okay? And so, yes, what we've set forth here is something where, like Amy said, the other Amy, we're going to fix this place. We're going to dedicate ourselves to making sure this is no longer a drain. And we know, God knows, I've been dealing with this now for a whole year. The electrical has to be almost completely rewired. Most of our AC units are going to need some work. Some of the roof has to be replaced. Okay? Clearly the foundation, that hasn't been looked at in a few years, so we'll need to get some more bids on that. Okay? And in a couple of minutes, like I said, Felix is going to come up here and talk about some of the things that we talked about. So what happens in 4 years? Ideally, we get this $200,000, $300,000, we fix the place, we dedicate ourselves to growing, to developing our programs, we turn the corner, we've got an income stream, we've got some money in the bank, we can pay off the people who loaned us individually, somewhat through savings, and also we can get a conventional loan at that point, in which case, then you pay month by month by month, right? But if not, in 4 years, we are probably looking at the end of Plymouth. And I'm being honest. So it is an all or nothing.
This makes me, when we talk about keeping the building, I get that. I enjoy being in the building. I have feelings for the building, and I understand that people do. But on the other hand, it also makes me think about like the fancy churches when they spend lots of money on their furnishings and their, their glitter and glam and, and to me, part of that, there is an offensive part of that's in the cosmetic part, and it's not all being put out into the community. And that's kind of what I think of when I think about, I feel to me it's offensive to keep the building just to use all that money that it would take for the cosmetics of being in the building, and we aren't pushing it out into the community for services and outreach.
That's an interesting perspective. Thank you.
I mean, because I think of the church being the people and the work the church does, and none of that is served by a good foundation of the building or paint on the walls.
Right. Okay.
Hi, I'm Judy Walden, and I came in at, it was 2012, I think, when I came into the church. And then got on the council a few years later at some point, and I think it was like 2014 maybe. Well, the first thing I did was have the Imagine What's Possible. I got the attic project, and I was here like 2 months when I got that. Okay. Anyway, about 2014, 15, so I became facilities chair, and I was facilities chair for quite a while. And that involved constant maintenance, repair, dealing with contractors constantly. I mean, it was always something. And a lot of in-kind, which I'm sure they know right now because they did it this year too. A lot of in-kind fixing and putting money into it. And every year, I kept expecting us to turn the corner. We struggled. The congregation got bigger for a little while, a couple of years, and then it kicked back down. There was 108 members when I came, by the way, 108. And then it kind of went up. I think we got maybe to 150 once, and then it started coming back down again. And it just, to me, it did look like a black hole. I mean, struggling to, like I could keep it going, like I could get everything fixed. But I kept thinking, okay, this is going to do it, and we're going to be okay. We're going to be, solve it and everything. It's going to be okay. It's never happened, ever. And I have to say, I considered it a black hole. And I put, by the way, close to $100,000 over the years into this place. And it just never has come to fruition. I mean, it just never has. And I love the missions, and I wanted to do work and go out in the community, whatever, all those neat project and missions we had. And for a while, we were going gangbuster with those in spite of everything else. But putting all my energy into, well, I also did the garden for several years, and that is really physical. There wasn't much of me left even for the missions. So, I mean, but that was my dream. I just loved to get out and do that kind of work. But the facilities just took it out of me, financially and physically and emotionally, and I kept it's going to change. It never has.
Okay. Thank you for that historical, because yes, I'm feeling pretty drained myself right now.
Hi, I'm a new member here, so I don't know nothing about anything, but to me, me and my husband used to flip houses a lot. To me, when you get an old house or a house that's been moved and it's not original in its foundation, you're going to have ongoing problems with shifting, with plumbing, electricity, foundations, probably on certain houses forever. To me, is there going to be a lot of ongoing maintenance? Are we going to have enough people here to support a church like this with a lot of ongoing problems? Even when we get here above water, there's going to be maintenance, in my opinion. What kind of issues are we going to have with this building? Is it going to stop as soon as we fix it? Because it's not on its original foundation, from what I understand. It was moved here, was it not? Okay.
Excellent.
So anyway, that's what I have.
No, thank you very much. That's a little bit of an outsider's perspective. You didn't know you were getting your steps, did you?
No, Shelby.
I'm just want to be clear. If we come with the deal with the church and we sell the building, that gives us an account of 1.5 million thereabouts.
Thereabouts.
So when we're looking for another place to meet, we're doing that with some funds available
Absolutely, 100%.
for some period of time,
Yes,
and gives us more choices. Free choices are always good,
right.
come with
Right.
some strings,
Right.
probably,
Yeah, and there's, yeah,
but we would have some financial resources to be able to make the selection that feels best for us.
we would have significant financial resources to do a number of different options. And obviously, our initial thinking is we want to be safe. We want to make sure that that money is safe, okay? That maybe we put that into some interest earning, right? And then we as a congregation find, if there's another new forever home, that we find the right one. But yes, we would have significant financial resources to call upon.
This comment is from Reverend Lori online. Maybe this is an opportunity for us to do something very literally outside the box.
We're trying. Okay, at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Felix and let him talk about the bigger vision.
Let me first say that your voices are so powerful. Your voices are so powerful, and what you have been sharing with us this morning really helps us to give direction to our future, to what we will eventually decide to do. So thank you for sharing the way you've been sharing with us. Thank you. Let's give yourselves a hand. I'm a Congregationalist. That's my polity. It's here. It's with the congregation. It's not with one leader or two leaders. It's the congregation that together decides what's best for its life. I also want to thank Bill Hoffman, who stepped in to be our moderator after Amy Broadhurst did a great 2 years. And I remember the phone call. I said, Bill, listen to this. I said, I know if you take this position, you're going to do a great job. I know it. I know it. So think about it. And thank God he did. And he's going to do one more year as moderator. So the church is not the building in the end, right? And we are now invested in a reimagining, visioning process, which has been very, very powerful, very productive for us. We had sessions with the consultant, the United Church of Christ consultant, and now we're in that phase, the final phase of a writer's team writing our plan of action moving forward. And you all named 4 mission priorities, clear mission priorities. Now the writer's team has come up with a why we're here, why we're Plymouth. We're working with your 4 mission priorities, and we're moving now into what's called SMART goals, specific goals. And sooner than later, you will hear back from the writers' team as to what we've put together for a moving forward plan. And the more I think about this and the more I listen to you all, I am pretty convinced that whether we're here or we're somewhere else, we can give life to these mission priorities. We can give life to our why. We can give life to our goals. And we may have a good amount of money to go for it, to finally go for it. I have appreciated all that has been said. Margaret, I appreciate your words a lot. And Sandy, who said, we have more choices. It's not just one choice. Sandy used the word more choices. And I think we have more choices than we know and we think. Cypress Creek Disciples of Christ Church has already said you guys can come here. There's this significant, sizable room. Bill went to see it recently. Amy went to see it, and Mark in the early days after I talked to the minister there. And Bill thinks we could fit 30 or so people in there, right, Bill? And we can set one camera up. Mark said we can set one camera up. We won't have these cameras on the walls, but we can set one up, and we can make it happen there. They have 2 offices for us, an office with a bathroom and an office without a bathroom, but the bathroom is across the hall. Not knowing that Amy would one day move along, I said, I'll give you the office with the bathroom. And she was like, yay! You're giving it to me now? All right. And so there's a future. There's a future. Let's believe there's a future. Let's trust that there's a future. Because Plymouth has 4 remarkable voices: progressive theology, social justice, LGBTIA+, QIA+. And I'm not giving all the 4 other stuff that comes with it, but you know what I mean, right? And contemplative spirituality. And more than likely, we're going to add a 5th voice, which is dynamic wholeness of body, mind, and spirit, because this is who we are. We have a wise team, so now why make that a voice that we add to the 4? And I was talking to Brother Allen recently. I asked Mary to join me, and Brother Allen has this vision that has to do with Plymouth becoming, having a spiritual life center. You know how we have the LGBTQIA+ resource center? So we could have a spiritual life center here at Plymouth. And in our recent conversation, he was thinking, and we talked for more than 2 hours in our recent conversation. He's called me and he says, you know what? What about Spring Spiritual Life Center at Plymouth? So that we're already making it available to the people of Spring and the wider community of Spring. He has his own St. Francis library. He's a Franciscan monk. And St. Francis of Assisi. And he says, what if I move the library to your church? You house it, and you and I work together with others to offer spirituality programs as a part of this Spring Spiritual Life Center. And so there's great possibility, because what we want to do is move into giving life to our 4 or our 5 voices. Not having one voice lead, but all of them lead. And building programs around all of our voices, right? That invites the community. That goes out to the community. That we share Plymouth. We share Plymouth with all others as much as possible, not around all of our voices. So I invited Brother Allen to come and to speak a little bit about his vision. And I think he too has said the church is not the building, the church are the people. So, and he has a lot of experience with being the executive director of Hope Center. And so, Brother Allen, can you come and share some of your thoughts with us? Come on to this mic here.
You didn't tell me when you invited me that I was going to be the closer. So, hello, everybody. God morning. I promise. I know you've been here 2 hours. I've been with you. And it's been beautiful. I have some things I'd like to just share from my heart. I think I can be succinct, get to the point, get everybody out of here. I know it's late, all right? But before we do that, do this for me. Just stand up if you are able where you are and just stretch. Stretch your fingers, stretch your neck, smile, breathe in, breathe out. Look to your left, look to your right. These are your brothers and your sisters. You are among friends. It is a happy, good place, is it not? Yeah. Yes. All right. Let all that stress out. out. All right. Be seated. Or as I like to say, Yahweh in, my way out. So first, just thank you. Thank you for letting me be here, even to say a word. Thank you, Pastor Felix. Thank you. Where's Amy? Beautiful message. What a beautiful service. Beautiful service. Just moved me, touched me, spoke to me. And I hear it all. I've heard all of this. I'm not a member. I hear all, and I've heard this before. I see it all. I've seen this before. So why am I here? Every once in a while, you notice that some Franciscan blows through here wearing some funny clothes, and then he's gone. What's up with that? Who is he? Why is he here? And so, one, I'm here because I was invited by Pastor Felix and Bill to just come be with you today. It's my blessing to be here. Two, I'm a long-time fan, friend, and supporter of Plymouth Church. If you've been here from the beginning, I was here in 2003. I was part of the installation of Reverend Jenny Brown Daniel. I provided the music that day. I used to be a worship leader 100 years ago. And so I was part of that beautiful service, and Reverend Jenny served here, I think, around 10 years, something like that. She's part of your legacy. And so I have felt part of Plymouth. Every time I literally live across the street in Spring Creek Oaks, been there 40 years. I'm one of your neighbors. I'm part of your community, the community of Spring. I work at Hope Center at 1960, so I'm flying down here all the time. Every time I fly by here, what's on the sign? Say a prayer, check in, right? So my point is that I love, although I'm an Auslander, I love your church. I love your mission. I love your ministry. I love your people. I love you. Some of you have gotten to know over time. You are a blessing. One thing I'd like you to consider right up front, and again, who am I to give advice, right? But right up front, make a commitment in your heart that whatever you decide, I don't know the answer, you have some great ideas, God knows the answer. God has a plan, right? God says, I have a plan for you, not to harm you, but to prosper you. Our challenge is to discover God's perfect plan for us and follow it and obey and do. Not to do it our way, as they say in New York, right? Discover God's plan. So I'd like you to maybe think and pray about making a commitment. And that commitment would be that Plymouth is going to go forward. Plymouth United Church will live and thrive and grow and minister and continue to do the important, beautiful work that you're doing no matter what. First, you have to have that commitment that what you're doing brings value. There's nobody in Spring doing what you are doing or what you can do. Nobody. Nobody's qualified to do what you do. So first, there has to be a commitment. Plymouth, with the help of God, must continue. It must go forward. I'll come back to this in a minute. You're talking about a 4-year plan. Guess what? In 3 years, 2028, will be your 50th anniversary. 50 years of ministry in this area. You're not there yet. You're at 47. Don't you want to get to 50? So there's this concept that no matter what, whether we stay, whether we go, whether we merge, whether we sell, details. It's always details. And that's why you have wisdom. There's wisdom in this room. Wisdom from previous generations, wisdom currently, and guess what? With God's help, wisdom to come. People to come. People to join. People to work with. People to buy into the vision. And you're right on track. Reimagine. Somebody online, think outside of the box called the church. Think outside. But at the same time, don't just sell out. We have all these options. You've heard most of them. You've heard some of them. The important thing is that you have the vision to continue. Don't quit. Don't give up. The church will survive. The church will go forward. We will do the legacy that this church was inspired to do 50 years ago. Does that make sense? Okay, so why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Quickly, so who are you? Who makes you an authority on these things? Nothing. I'm nobody, all right? I'm a foolish friar. But along the way, just so you know, I was ordained. I was born, raised, educated as a Roman Catholic. I was ordained as a Southern Baptist minister at Houston's First Baptist Church, Houston's Second Baptist Church. I've been in church ministry. I've been in non-denominational ministry. I'm now a Franciscan friar, a monk. I'm embedded inside the walls of St. Dunstan's Episcopal Church, not too far from here on St. Dunstan's, where I serve just like this, serve our parish, serve our people. I'm embedded outside the walls of the church at Hope Center, where I serve as executive director, working with the homeless. You know the number one problem of those experiencing homelessness? You know what they want more than anything in the world? What they want is a home. Well, guess what? You have a home. This is your home. This is your home church. This is it. This is your home. And if it's like my home on Singing Creek, 40 years old over there, guess what? My house has a foundation problem. Yes, it does. I got cracks in my living room ceiling. I'm saying, oh my gosh, all the Christmas company are coming. When are you going to fix that? It was like that last year. Yeah. Air conditioning, yeah. Problems. We all have them in our individual life. Where there are people, there will be problems. Guaranteed. And we probably, even as a nation, have more problems than we've ever had. Okay. So, but there's good news, all right? Before I get to the good news, let me share some not so good news maybe. Let's look at it that way, right? There's so much drama and trauma and so much stuff going on in the world. And by the way, Amy, I almost wanted to borrow Felix's glasses, but I took a different approach. I just made my notes 100-point font where I could see it. So I'm going to use a business term, right? It's called competition. I've also been in business, been an entrepreneur. So competition, did you know that, would this surprise you to learn that as a church you have competition? Would it surprise you at all? So I want to just, real quickly, I'm not boring numbers, statistics. I'm going to throw some stuff at you real quick about spring and just throw it out there. And that's going to be the not so good news. But then let's talk about the good news, the gospel, right? The good news. All right. So competition. So we know this from all kinds of polls. I can give you the data where I got it from. But if you look nationwide, actually globally, but if you look nationwide, church attendance is way down. Church attendance, way down. And it keeps dropping by denominations. Now I'm just talking Christian churches, not all the other stuff, okay? Church attendance, way down for everybody. Name the denomination, everybody, okay? Weekly church attendance in 2000 was at 37%. This year, church attendance nationally is at 30%. People who go to church. People who go to church, this is last year, once a week, 21%. That's how many people go to church once a week. Once a month, 41%. It gets better. They go to church once a month. Still less than 50%. Seldom or never go to church. That number today is 57%. Who's my customer? There's 57% don't go to church. What about the UCC? The UCC congregations. From 87 to 2021, there has been a 52% decline in UCC churches nationally. UCC membership nationwide used to be closer to 2 million. It dropped to about 1 million. You know what it is today? Membership, UCC, nationally? It's around 750,000. Dropping. There are less than 5,000 UCC churches in America today. Let's take a closer look, and then I'll be done with these numbers. Look at Spring, Texas, all right? Spring, it's where you are, 77379. Spring. You know how big Spring is? It's 26 miles. Okay? 26 miles, small. But in those 26 square miles, there are 94,000 people, almost 100,000 people in those 26 miles. And in that 26 miles, there are, get this is for real, I didn't make this up, 102 Christian churches. That doesn't count other competitors. 102 Christian churches in 26 miles. You're in 77379. You know how many churches are in 77379, your zip code? 19. 19 Christian churches competing for the same number of people. That means that every 3/4 of a mile, you're going to average a church, on average, in Spring. Do you know how many UCC churches there are in Spring? What is it? That is absolutely right. 1. And you know what? That is something to celebrate. There's just 1 in Spring. 1. Talk about competition. No competition for UCC, right? Until you go to the Woodlands, about 11 miles, there's a church out there. Or until you go to Long Point, 16 miles, there's a UCC church out there. Or if you go downtown to Montrose, the famous Resurrection Community Church, not UCC, but like-minded. They're running 300 people strong in the heart, the epicenter of gay rights. So there's no competition for UCC churches. You're it. So what happens if you're going to reimagine? I don't know the answer. Whether you sell, whether you stay, whether you go, whether you move, whether you I don't know. God knows. But if you make the commitment, you don't have to. I encourage you to make the commitment that whatever you do, you want Plymouth to survive and thrive and go forward and continue to do the important, valuable work that you already have been doing, are doing, and the greater vision that God has for you to do, because there's nobody else is going to do it. If you close up shop, if you stop, you say, I'm tired, I'm broke, I'm done. There's nobody else who's going to do UCC work. There is nobody. Just close the door, turn the lights out, right? So you have so much, this beautiful service in your heart, these resources. So let me talk about that briefly, and I promise you, then I'm done. That's the not so good news, is there is something called competition. There is something called bills and obligations and responsibility. And when you're low in numbers, at one point somebody remembers 150 members, then there was 100 members, then there were 75 members, now there's 50-something members, and then there'll be 30 members. It's exhausting doing God's work. But don't grow weary in well-doing. I say this to our board all the time. It's hard work. In my case, working with the homeless, hard. Don't grow weary in well-doing. Number 2, Jesus. Don't take my advice, take Jesus' advice. Jesus said what? He said, without me, Jesus speaking, you can do absolutely nothing. So if you want to try to figure it out go talk among yourselves, go figure it out, and get in your committees and have your groups and sort it out, and good, healthy dialogue and points of view. It's all important, so valuable that you have a voice. How beautiful that all of your voices, because you need wisdom. If anyone lacks wisdom, do what? Ask of God, who gives liberally. You need wisdom? Stay connected to the divine. You need a master plan? Stay connected to the divine. You need a mission statement? You got one, already made it, and you're fulfilling it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Don't grow weary in well-doing. Jesus says, without me, you can do nothing. He says, come unto me, all of you who labor with your hands and work, and I'll give you rest. Partner with Jesus. Partner with the divine. He'll give you the strength, the energy. He'll restore the soul. There'll be transformation from the inside out. That's why spirituality, there's good news. Let me get to some of the good news. The bad news is that church membership is in decline. But interest in spirituality, interest in things of God, interested in the divine is up, way up. Therefore, the place to put your investment is in things that are spiritual, not things that are religious. There's a place, there's a purpose, there's a time. But make sure that spirituality, connecting to the Spirit of God, breathing life into the people who sit in the pews, is part of your DNA. When you feed, you have a beautiful table, you enjoy meals. When you feed the soul will grow, right? That's what you do here. So what's your benefits? What are your assets? Bill, you were talking earlier, counting up your assets. What are the assets? You have a beautiful church family, almost 50 years of beautiful ministry that nobody else took on to do, but you did. You had the courage to do it. You have 3.5 acres of beautiful land. You've got a beautiful labyrinth. You've got a beautiful garden that could continue to expand. And guess what? And a beautiful building. I love this building. I love it. I want to see it used more. I want to see it maxed out. I want to see it maxed to its potential. Okay, there's some plumbing. Okay, I know a few guys. Okay, those are details. But what a beautiful space. It's a sacred space, this place. Stop thinking of it as a church or a building. You're the church. This is a sacred space. What if more people wanted to be attracted? What would be the magnets to come to a sacred space, a spiritual space? So one, you've got this beautiful place. And guess what? It's paid for. That's a plus. You don't have a mortgage. It's paid for. It's run down. It's old. It's beat up. But it's still running. It still works. You still meet here. And there's room for more. Let's go get them. Invite them. But what are you going to invite them to? What are you going to bring them to? They can deal with some cracks. They can do with the carpet. Whatever. That's not why you go to church. And that's not what people nowadays are interested in. They're interested in the heart, in the soul. Feed the soul. They will come. Number 2, you have a gifted, loving pastor, dedicated. You are so blessed. And you even have a pastor who's willing to defer his salary. Wow, that's so rare. You are blessed with such a beautiful pastor and beautiful leadership. You are so blessed. 3, you have a wonderful history. What a wonderful legacy you already have. And you haven't quit. You're still dreaming and reimagining. 4, you're the only UCC church, the only one. For 25 miles, any direction, you're the only one. The problems, they've already been addressed. The church has a lien of about $303,000. The church needs repair. Okay. My father, Francis, went into a broken down chapel called San Damiano 800 years ago, and he kneeled and prayed, and he heard Jesus say to Francis, rebuild my church. And Francis, who was a rich kid, took it upon himself, oh, you want me to rebuild the church? So Francis sold his horse, sold his stuff, sold his dad's stuff, and went and got equipment and physically repaired the chapel, the church. But he said, that's not what I'm talking about. You misheard me. Repair my church. 850 years later, we're still talking about Francis doing the work. Repair the church. Repair this. Bring more people here. Yeah, and you need about $50,000 to $150,000 in repairs. Okay, details. Church budget, running a deficit. Difficult, challenging, but not impossible. Church attendance is down. So what are you going to do? What are the opportunities? I'll close with this. How beautiful it is you've got 4 and maybe soon 5 strong visions, voices. I love them. I love all of them. I would suggest, and who am I to suggest anything, but just tweak a couple of things in your 5 voices because they're beautiful. Progressive theology, contemplative spirituality, LGBTQIA+, social justice, dynamic wholeness. Great. How about amplify contemplative spirituality? Amplify prayer, meditation, how to connect to the divine. Put that labyrinth to work. I volunteer. Put it to work. Spiritual, I call it a spiritual toolbox. I've got hundreds of things in my spiritual toolbox. I'm willing to come and volunteer my time and come from the spirituality side, working very closely with Pastor Felix, and come help us develop greater spirit. You already have the foundation of spirituality. Let's grow it. Let's build upon it. You've got this beautiful farm out here, this beautiful piece of land, a garden. Grow it. You've got all this empty property about here. Plant more. Make it more, think of it more of a community garden. Think of it more of a co-op. What about income sources? Food stability has never been more important. I stopped drinking orange juice when they start charging me $5 a bottle for it. So I don't drink it anymore, cost of living, right? But as you grow food and share food and teach people how to have sustainable lives, beautiful. That will attract people who are interested in caring for creation. Use your gift, your green thumb, to attract people. Use this beautiful building. I've heard it. Wedding venue, reception. You're blessed with a beautiful music director. What a beautiful piece the choir with 5 or 6 people did. Beautiful this morning. So open this place up to concerts and receptions and to the community. It's one of the smart things that Cypress Creek Christian Church did. They have a church, but they use it during the week as a community center. Open up these spaces to the community. Let them come and see. And when they come and see, they'll come and see that it's good. And they will want to become part of what you're doing. LGBTQIA+, so critical, so important. And you have the lead on this subject in Spring, Texas. I encourage you to continue being advocacy, continue having a loud voice. Advocacy has never been more important to me. And I know you have that heart too. But if you lead with that voice, I'm saying you're in a very conservative 26 miles. If you lead with that, God bless you. You're a prophet, but you're preaching into the wilderness. Keep the voice. Keep the pressure. Keep advocating. Absolutely. Just don't lead with it. Don't make it number one. Make it equal. The beautiful scripture, John 3:16. For God so loved the world, right? The universe that he gave. He gave his only son. We're all equal. All of us. We're all created in God's image. We are all icons of Christ. All of us. Emphasize the all, the universality, the universe of all. And guess what? Then everybody is truly welcome. Everybody's welcome. Everybody. Nobody is excluded. Color, race, culture, whatever. Universal voices, contemplative spirituality, and then my brother, my friend, our pastor, he mentioned the St. Francis Library. So I have announced my retirement at Hope Center early next year. And I have a beautiful St. Francis of Assisi research library there that has become a sacred space and a beautiful resource. So Pastor Felix and I were talking, we're saying, wow, I'm looking at a church in Maryland, I'm looking at a church in Kerrville, I'm looking at a church in Wisconsin. My legacy in the future, where will this beautiful library eventually go? Art, music, artifacts, books, spirituality, where will it go? And I was talking with Pastor Felix, and I said, what are you guys doing? Do you have space? What if the library came there? What if the library was a magnet? What if there was a spring spirituality center at Plymouth and the library at Plymouth as a magnet, as a drawing card to get people's attention to come to where? To come to Plymouth. To come where? To come to this building and to come and see and come and talk and come and engage and come to service and come to volunteer. You need volunteers, you need more hands, you need more people who know stuff. Invite them to come and see of what your beautiful vision and reimagining that you're doing. And there's no cost for that. I'll just move it here. I'm going to move it somewhere. Why not move it across the street right behind my house? Why not? You know, I'll help you get it set up. This is stuff that we can talk about. You haven't even begun to scratch the surface of how this could be used for events. Yep, going to need some paint. Yep, going to have to do some decluttering. Yep. If people are going to take pictures in here, but it's very doable. There's so much you could do with this space. So what about your future? These really 60 seconds, my last words. What about your future? What are your options? It's easy. You didn't need me to come share any of this. Your options are, one, you can do absolutely nothing. Just don't do anything. Just keep doing what you're doing. See how that works out. Right? Pull the blanket over your head and just see what happens. You can stay, you can grow, you can thrive. You could see your 50th anniversary in a couple of years and be celebrating. You could be thriving and growing the year after that with this beautiful 4-year plan that he's talking about. What's another option? You could merge. You can merge with like-minded. I've been there, I've done that, I've seen it. So yeah, it's very possible to find another congregation that's like-minded, and you're going to merge with them. You just take your resources, their resources, like a marriage, combine them. There are lots of churches that want multiple campuses. That will be their mother house, wherever they are. This would be campus number 2. And you merge, and you work and partner together. Of course, the trade-off on that is you lose control. You lose leadership, right? You know how that works. But it is an option. It's not necessarily a bad one. The demographics are changing. You can just move. I heard the idea of what you guys, you could just move over and go into a choir room. I've offered Hope Center. You can come to the upper room at Hope Center. You want to come on Sundays? Come on over. I won't charge you anything. Use the upper room. It'll hold about 60 people. Come on over. So you have options and people who are willing to partner with you and work with you. You can sell. You can sell, and you can relocate, and you can reimagine. And that's another option that you have. And it's not necessarily a bad option. But what it means is if you sell and you move, I heard 2 million, and now it's 1.5 million. By the time all the dust settles, you're going to be sitting about $1 million. What can you do with $1 million to build a new church? Down payment? Not a whole lot. So you have to think all of that. Can you move? Should you move? Maybe. But remember this, that when you make that decision, Plymouth, as you know it, as you love it, as I love it, will be going to a scrapbook. This building will be whatever they're going to do with it, whatever's going to happen to it. You'll take your memories with you, and you'll start over with this group. You'll start scratch, start over, and you can, and you will. You have to keep moving, but there's a cost for all no matter, not good, bad, or ugly. There's a cost for all of that. I hope my prayer, and again, who am I? But my prayer is that the most important thing you can do at this stage in your life is just to watch and pray, to listen, to seek the divine, seek his wisdom, seek his direction, seek his clarity. Keep talking among yourselves. Discover, God already has the perfect plan for you. Your job is one, just discover what it is, discover the plan, and then go do it. Action and contemplation. If any of this makes sense, if any of you have questions afterwards, I'm always just a phone call away, and I'm happy to continue this dialogue, this conversation, to see what would be possible to continue for Plymouth to be sustainable, and not just sustainable, but to grow, and to continue to be the vision and the voice that you're capable of being here in Spring that nobody else is willing to do. Okay? So, meanwhile, know you're in my heart and you're in my prayers.
Thank you very much, Brother Allen. I think that definitely gives us all a lot to think about. I want to point out that even if we vote to proceed with the Hail Mary option, that does not mean that we're going to get enough people to loan us the money, okay? We still have to reach a threshold. And like I say, that's a minimum of 200,000. So understand that as well, okay? So we're about to vote, but I want everyone to take a minute and say a prayer, okay? And let God guide you. Okay, so technically I need a motion to proceed with the Hail Mary option. Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second? TJ will second. All right, so this time keep your hands up because we're going to have pros and cons. We're going to have fors and against. And again, I need a very specific account. So those who are in favor of us proceeding with asking individuals to loan money to Plymouth, raise your hand. Okay, keep them up. Okay, 14 fours. Those against, please raise your hand. Keep them up. 10 against. Do we have any online votes? Okay, hold on. Abstaining, yes. Okay, all right, those abstaining, please raise your hand. All right, we have one abstention. I'm gonna have to get my calculator out. How many are online, Amy, total? One person is online? And we have their name? So that's one online, so that's 15-4. Ooh, it's gonna be close. So, the motion fails. We would have needed 17 and a half, and we got 16. So we will not be proceeding with this option. We need a motion for adjournment? Do what? Oh, closing prayer, yes, please.
Thank you, Brother Allen, for coming and sharing your time with us, worshiping with us, and your presentation. Thank you. It is valued. So when there's a vote in the church that's close like that, even if we had that, the 2/3, council would have to look at it again, because that kind of a split, 16-10 is something you want to be careful, proceed with carefully. So what a powerful congregational meeting. And I loved your voice. I love your voices, and everything you've shared, we will take to heart. And our leadership will take to heart. Okay? And let's continue to trust that a way will be made where there is no way. So go with God's blessings. Oh, I hope anyway, in our UCC hymnal, there's a benediction that says, you will be the miracle in the end. When you trust God, you will see that we ourselves will be God's miracle. So go knowing that God is not turning God's back on Plymouth. Amen? God is leading the way. God's light is leading the way. And go with God's blessings. And thank you again, Bill, for your leadership, and the officers for your leadership. Thank you.
Hold on, like I said, I need okay, so Michael Ann, motion for adjournment. Do I have a second? Mary Lowell, second. All in favor of adjourning? All against? We're adjourned. Thank you.
Good work. Man. Hey, go back.